The Overwatch Midseason 18 is already here. We have Tracer added to Stadium. We have the Persona plus Overwatch collab with a bunch of new skins with the Phantom Thieves. Anniversary 2025 with the OG Arcade Chaos and fan favorite LTMs. And of course, some balance changes because this was the perk rework season. So let's see what we have changed. HANZO has been one of the best performing tanks, especially in the high ranks. So they're nerfing his Spike Guard first here. The damage reduction will be reduced from 65% to 60%. And his Violent Leap damage will be reduced from 80 to 70 on the slash part. For RAMATTRA, he's been underperforming, so they're buffing the bonus armor he gets in Nemesis form from 250 to 275. For Roadhog, the Scrap Gun's critical multiplier will be increased from 1.5 to 2x. Take a Breather will also have its resource regeneration rate increased from 10 to 12.5 per second. For Wrecking Ball, his quad cannon's maximum ammo will be reduced from 100 to 80, and his minefield duration will be reduced from 20 to 16. For GENJI, his deflect cooldown will be increased from 8 seconds to 10 seconds. For HANZO, his storm arrows will no longer have a larger projectile size compared to his regular arrows. For TORBJORN, his overload duration will be increased from 5 to 6, and his molten core damage per second will be increased from 160 to 190. For Tracer, a nerf to the perk cost, that's going to be increased by 25%, so it'll just take a little longer before her perks come online. For WIDOWMAKER, the grappling hook cooldown will be reduced from 12 seconds to 10 seconds, and Venom Mine's total damage will be increased from 75 to 125. For Brig, her shield bash damage will be increased from 50 to 70. For her combat medic perk, they fixed a bug where it was triggering on damaging non-player entities, so that was never supposed to be the case. For LUCIO, they're nerfing his sonic amplifier. The damage per projectile will be reduced from 22 to 20. And here we have some WUYANG nerfs here. The rushing torrent cooldown will be increased from 7 to 8. And the Guardian wave healing amplification duration will be reduced from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. Okay, for Stadium, ORISA getting some buffs here. The Scorched Earth power, the damage will be increased from 20% to 25%. For the Shield Divergence power, the barrier now gains extra health from passive health gain. And for the Supercharger power, the base health fit will be increased from 200 to 400. The devs comment that these updates give ORISA more durability and impact. Scorched Earth hits harder, her barriers scale better with her role, and Supercharger now has the staying power to anchor big moments in fights. For Sigma, the Beam Splitter rare survival hero item now also reduces melee damage while active, and the damage reduction will be increased from 50% to 75%. For the Volatile Gravel rare ability hero item, the bonus ability power will be reworked. Dealing damage with Accretion grants 5% ability power until the end of the round, stacking up to 4 times. Not on the resets on miss. For the Synced Shielding rare survival hero item, the weapon power and attack speed granted while being behind experimental barrier will be increased from 5% to 10%, and the move speed and lifesteal granted while in front of the barrier will be increased from 5% to 10% as well. For the Maestro power, they added Gravitic Flux that will refund 50% of the ult charge if no enemies are affected. For Mei, her Slowball power normally just requires you to hit the snowball on them, but now if you headshot them or critical hit them, it'll apply a 30% slow as well. The devs comment that based on player feedback, we wanted to reward precision with Slowball. Landing crits now gives a stronger slow, letting Mei players who hit their mark feel extra frosty, while making it clearer when enemies are in real trouble. Alright, Tracer has been added to the Stadium roster. Here's a short list of her powers right here. You can see all of them. And now for the supports. Juno's Pulsar Destroyer's epic ability hero item, the damage will be increased from 20 to 35. The devs comment that Pulsar Destroyers were underwhelming compared to other epic tier options. This boost should make this hero item feel far more destructive and worthy of its name. For KIRIKO, the Talisman of Life epic survival hero item, that ability power scaling will be decreased from 20% to 15%, and the overhealth will be decreased from 100 to 80. For the Donut Delivery epic ability hero item, the cooldown reduction will be decreased from 10% to 5%, and the healing will be decreased from 120 to 80. The devs comment that we've trimmed the numbers so talismans aren't quite so magical and donuts aren't quite so nutritious. Sometimes too many sprinkles really are a bad thing. Alright, so here are some more general item changes. The devs comment that the introduction of Tracer, they're adjusting some of their on ability items to be more in bounds on heroes with low ability cooldowns. So for example, the Ironclad exhaust ports, this is a rare survival general item. The overhealth now only stacks up to 1 time, and they've added 10 health to it. For the 3-tap TOMMYGUN, the epic ability general item, they added damage falloff to that specific additional damage that's equal to the target's life only. They added an internal timer of 0.25 seconds between subsequent procs of the additional damage. They've also changed the text from after using an ability, your next 3 instances of weapon damage deal additional damage equal to 3% of the target's life, to after using an ability for 3 seconds, weapon damage deals additional damage equal to 1% of the target's life. The cost will also be reduced from 10,500 to 9,500 cash. And then for the Mark of the Kitsune Epic Ability General item, they added damage falloff to the additional damage. And that's it for this short mid-season patch. It was pretty inoffensive and small. What do you guys think?